build massive fat reserves. A small songbird might nearly double its body weight in weeks. That fat becomes high-energy fuel for non-stop flights across oceans and deserts. The physical design of these travelers is a marvel of efficiency. Long, pointed wings suit powerful, sustained flight. Those wings generate maximum lift with minimum effort. Skeletons are incredibly lightweight. Hollow bones reduce mass. Respiratory systems are uniquely efficient. A one-way flow of air through the lungs extracts far more oxygen per breath than in mammals. That supercharged system powers flight muscles for hours or even days, often at high altitudes where oxygen is scarce. To conserve energy, animals use ingenious strategies. Birds flying in a V formation are a classic example. Each bird except the leader catches the updraft from the bird ahead, cutting wind resistance. Birds rotate the lead position so the leader can rest. Some birds use unihemispheric sleep, shutting down one half of the brain while the other half stays alert. This lets them rest and navigate at the same time while in mid-air. Together make these monumental journeys possible year after year. For millennia, migratory animals have navigated the natural challenges of their journeys: storms, predators, and the sheer exhaustion of travel. Today, however, they face a new and rapidly growing set of obstacles, all of them created by humans. Our expanding footprint on the planet is fragmenting landscapes and disrupting the ancient routes that these animals depend upon for their survival. What was once an open highway in the sky or an unobstructed path across the land is now a treacherous obstacle course, making their already perilous journeys even more difficult and deadly. One of the most significant impacts is habitat loss and degradation. The wetlands, forests, and grasslands that serve as critical rest stops along migratory routes are disappearing at an alarming rate. These stopover sites are essential for animals to rest and refuel during their long journeys. When a wetland is drained for agriculture or a coastal estuary is developed for housing, it is like closing a vital service station on a motorway. The birds or fish that rely on that specific spot may arrive, exhausted and starving, only to find their refueling point gone, potentially dooming their journey and their chances of survival. Our built environment also creates direct physical barriers. Towering skyscrapers with their bright lights can disorient night-flying birds, causing them to collide with buildings in vast numbers. Wind turbines, while a source of clean energy, can be deadly for birds and bats that fly into their spinning blades. Dams on rivers block the migratory pathways of fish like salmon and sturgeon, preventing them from reaching their upstream spawning grounds. Even roads and fences can fragment the habitats of land animals like caribou or pronghorn, cutting them off from essential feeding areas and making their migrations impossible. Faced with the growing threats to these incredible journeys, a global movement is rising to the challenge scientists, governments, dedicated citizens. The understanding that migration is a global phenomenon that transcends national borders has spurred remarkable international cooperation. Protecting a migratory bird is not just about safeguarding its summer home in one country. It requires protecting its wintering grounds in another, and all the vital stopover points in between. This has led to the creation of treaties and partnerships aimed at conserving entire migratory corridors, or flyways. One of the most effective strategies involves the identification and protection of critical habitats. Conservation organizations work tirelessly to purchase land or establish conservation easements at key stopover sites, ensuring these natural refueling stations remain intact for generations to come. In places where habitats have been damaged, ambitious restoration projects are underway to replant native forests, restore wetlands, and remove barriers from rivers. These efforts help to stitch back together the fragmented landscapes that these animals depend on, making their journeys safer and more successful. Innovative solutions are also being developed to mitigate the dangers of our modern world. Architects are designing bird-friendly buildings using glass that is visible to birds, and cities are implementing lights-out programs during peak migration seasons, dimming skyscrapers at night to prevent deadly collisions. The migration of animals is so much more than a collection of individual survival stories. It is a vital rhythmic pulse that connects ecosystems across the entire planet, a powerful force of nature that shapes the world as we know it. These journeys are the planet's circulatory system, transporting energy, nutrients, and even life itself across vast distances. When wildebeest graze on the Serengeti plains, their waste fertilizes the soil, enriching the grasslands. When salmon return to their natal streams to spawn and die, their bodies deliver a massive pulse of marine nutrients to the inland forests, feeding everything from bears to the trees themselves. The sheer impressiveness of these journeys inspires a profound sense of wonder and humility. They remind us that the world is so much bigger than our own human experience, and that we share this planet with creatures of incredible resilience and strength. To witness a sky filled with migrating cranes, their calls echoing across the landscape, is to connect with an ancient and timeless rhythm. It is a spectacle that has unfolded for millennia, long before any cities or borders were drawn on a map. Preserving these migrations is about preserving a fundamental part of our planet's natural heritage and the sense of awe it instills in us, to ensure that their epic, life-affirming journeys can continue, uninterrupted, far into the future.